Every morning is not just the rising of the sun. It is a divine invitation from the one who created it. When your eyes open after a night's rest, it's not merely because your body has completed its cycle of sleep. It's because your soul has been given permission to witness another dawn. The morning is not ordinary, it is sacred. It is a quiet whisper from your Creator saying, I have given you another chance to begin again. Before the world awakens, before the noise of life drowns your thoughts, there is a moment of stillness. In that silence lies a doorway to peace, a call to come close, to remember who you are and why you are here. When the light of Fajr breaks through the darkness, it symbolizes something profound, that even after the longest night, light always returns. The dawn doesn't just happen outside, it happens within you. It is Allah's way of reminding you that no matter how heavy yesterday was, His mercy renews with every sunrise. The morning is an invitation to start over, to realign your heart, to seek forgiveness, to release yesterday's pain, and to walk into the new day with hope. Each breath you take in those early hours is a reminder that He has chosen you to live, to worship, to experience His beauty one more time. When you rise for Fajr, you are answering that invitation. You are not simply performing an act of worship, you are accepting a personal meeting with your Creator. He calls you at the quietest time, when distractions are few and sincerity is pure. The angels bear witness as you whisper His name, as you recite His words, as you bow before Him while most of the world still sleeps. That solitude is not emptiness, it's intimacy. It's the moment when your heart is most alive because it's directly connected to the one who gave it life. Many people chase peace throughout their day, searching for it in conversations, accomplishments, or moments of rest. Yet peace was waiting for them all along. In the early hours right after Fajr, when the air is still and the heart is open, it is in those moments that barakah begins to flow. When you start your day remembering Him, you invite His blessings into every part of your life, into your time, your health, your work, and your relationships. That is the secret of morning barakah. It's not just about waking up early, it's about waking up spiritually. The morning is also an invitation to trust that the same Lord who brings light after darkness can bring clarity after confusion. To trust that every sunrise carries new provision written for you. To trust that the unseen world is working in your favor when you rise to remember Him. This is why the early hours are filled with divine energy, because they are aligned with the natural rhythm of faith. The soul was designed to awaken with the light, not to hide from it. When you accept the morning's invitation, you begin to see the world differently. The sky, painted with gentle hues, becomes a sign of divine artistry. The cool breeze becomes a reminder of His mercy touching your face. The silence becomes a sanctuary where your heart finds rest. You begin to understand that the morning is not just a time of day, it's a spiritual state. It's a reminder that Allah is near, that He hasn't left you, that He still wants you to return to Him. Every dawn carries a message, a whisper to rise, to remember, to realign. It's a call to let go of yesterday's burdens and step into a new chapter of grace. The morning waits for those who are willing to listen, those who choose remembrance over sleep, those who see every sunrise not as routine but as revelation. And in answering that invitation, the soul finds its greatest peace, its deepest purpose, and its most profound connection. Barakah is not measured by the number of hours you sleep or how long you rest. It is measured by the presence of divine blessing in your life. Some people sleep for long hours yet wake up exhausted, while others rest for only a short time and rise with energy, clarity, and peace. The difference lies not in the length of sleep, but in the source of strength. True strength comes from alignment with your Creator, not from the comfort of the bed. When you rise after Fajr and choose remembrance over sleep, you are not depriving yourself of rest. You are seeking a higher kind of nourishment, the nourishment of the soul that fills your entire being with light. Barakah lies in obedience. It flows from the moments when you choose to put Allah before your desires. When you respond to His call at dawn, you are planting seeds of blessing that grow throughout your day. Every act of obedience, no matter how small, carries unseen expansion. You might spend a few minutes reading Quran or making Dhikr after Fajr, and that time could transform your entire day. Tasks that once felt heavy become light. Conversations that used to drain you feel easier, and even challenges seem to unfold with unexpected ease. That is not coincidence. That is the quiet miracle of Barakah. The world teaches that productivity is achieved through control, through managing hours, through efficiency and speed. But divine wisdom teaches that productivity is born from surrender, from giving your morning to Allah and trusting Him to give you what you need. When you obey Him, you invite His presence into your efforts, and His presence multiplies everything you touch. Without Barakah, even hours of work can feel empty. With Barakah, even a few minutes of sincere effort can bring unimaginable results. It is easy to believe that sleep after Fajr will make the day smoother, that another hour in bed will make you feel stronger, but that extra rest rarely brings the peace it promises. Often it leaves you sluggish, distracted, and disconnected. That is because the soul was not created to find energy in sleep alone. It finds true renewal in obedience. When you stay awake after Fajr, recite Quran, sit in reflection, or simply look at the morning sky with gratitude, you align your rhythm with divine timing. You become part of the natural order that Allah has created, where the light of dawn signals not only the start of a day, but the awakening of the heart. Barakah is subtle. It cannot be counted, but it can be felt. It's in the way time stretches when you use it for good. It's in the way your heart feels calm even when life is busy. It's in the way opportunities appear where logic says there should be none. Obedience brings that hidden flow because it connects you to the source of all blessings. When you put Allah first, even when it feels small, even when it means sacrificing comfort, you are declaring that your dependence is not on sleep, money, or energy, but on Him. And when you depend on Him, He gives you from where you could never imagine. Every command from Allah carries wisdom and mercy. The encouragement to rise early, to stay awake after Fajr, is not a test meant to exhaust you. It's a doorway meant to elevate you. Those who walk through it discover a kind of vitality that the world cannot explain. Their faces carry peace, their hearts feel lighter, and their days flow with unseen assistance. This is what it means to live with Barakah, to feel that Allah is placing ease in your path, even in hardship. It's to experience that obedience does not limit your life, it expands it. The more you surrender, the more you receive. The more you choose to align with His command, the more you find that everything else begins to align to. There is a silence that descends upon the world at dawn, a stillness so deep that even the air seems to whisper remembrance. It is a time when the night releases its final breath and the first light of morning gently kisses the earth awake. In that silence lies a conversation between the soul and its Creator, one that cannot be spoken with words but is felt through presence. The stillness of dawn is not emptiness, it is divine communication. It is the moment when the heart, stripped of distraction, can finally hear what it has been longing to hear all along. Before the world stirs, before the rush of obligation takes over, there exists a sacred pause. It is in that pause that your soul finds its voice. The world around you may still be asleep, but within you, something begins to awaken. That awakening is not physical, it is spiritual. The soul, which has been drowned in noise and constant motion, begins to breathe freely. It begins to remember its origin, to remember that peace was never something to be found in the outside world, but something that was always planted deep within. The stillness of dawn gives it space to rise. When you sit after Fajr, when your prayer has ended, and you choose to remain in that quiet, you enter into a conversation that transcends language. The birds begin their songs of praise, the sky opens in shades of light, and the world itself joins in worship. It is as if the entire creation is saying Subhanallah with you. In those moments, your heart understands truths that your mind often overlooks. You realize that silence itself can be a form of Dhikr, that the pause between words can carry meaning deeper than any sound. The stillness of dawn becomes the language through which your soul speaks back to its Lord. In that quiet hour, distractions fall away. There are no messages, no noise, no demands, only you and the one who sustains you. This is the time when thoughts are pure, when the heart is soft, when tears come easily, and when gratitude feels effortless. You can feel the weight of Allah's mercy resting gently over creation. It is as though the entire universe holds its breath to witness who among his servants will remember him in that stillness. Those who do are enveloped in tranquility that follows them throughout the day, an unseen protection that shields their hearts from chaos. The stillness of dawn also teaches you to listen. In a world that glorifies constant activity, listening becomes rare. But the soul speaks softly. It can only be heard when the noise of life subsides. When you sit in silence after Fajr, you begin to hear the subtle messages that Allah places in your heart, reminders of patience, guidance for decisions, reassurance for your fears. These are not loud revelations, they are gentle impressions, felt rather than heard, known rather than explained. They come in the moments when you are most still, most receptive, most connected. The dawn is also a time when reflection carries a unique power. The light of morning has a purity that mirrors the light of insight. As the sun begins to rise, it illuminates not only the world around you, but the corners of your heart that you had forgotten to visit. It shows you what needs healing, what needs letting go, what needs gratitude. The stillness gives you clarity, the kind of clarity that can only be found when your heart is quiet and your soul is in conversation with its creator. In those early hours, the world feels suspended between two realms, the fading night and the awakening day. It is a threshold between what was and what will be. Standing in that space, you are reminded that life itself is a series of such thresholds that every moment offers a chance for renewal. The stillness of dawn becomes a metaphor for the inner calm that faith creates. A state of surrender where you stop fighting the flow of life and begin to trust the one who controls it. The silence after Fajr is a sanctuary, a place where hearts are purified and intentions are renewed. When you fill that silence with remembrance, the world seems to respond in harmony. You start to notice how the rhythm of the universe itself praises its Lord. The wind, the trees, the birds, the light, all moving in obedience, all existing in peace. It is in that realization that your soul finds rest, because it finally understands that peace is not something to be achieved, it is something to be remembered. It was there all along, waiting for you in the stillness of dawn. When the heart awakens with the remembrance of Allah, it unlocks a hidden flow of blessings that no amount of effort alone could ever bring. The early hours after Fajr are sacred because they hold the secret of divine connection, a time when the angels witness your remembrance and when the gates of mercy are wide open. Morning Dhikr is not just repetition, it is renewal. It is how the soul stretches after the rest of night, how it breathes, how it remembers its true home. When you begin your day with Dhikr, you invite unseen assistance, peace, and barakah into everything that follows. The world often tells you to begin your day with planning, checking messages, or preparing for work. But the divine wisdom of Islam invites you to begin with remembrance, to anchor your soul before you anchor your schedule. When the first words you utter are the praises of Allah, you are not only remembering Him, you are being remembered by Him. The Prophet said that Allah remembers those who remember Him. Imagine that the Lord of the worlds mentioning your name among the angels simply because your heart whispered His. That alone is a miracle, one that happens quietly every morning to those who choose to begin their day with Dhikr. Morning Dhikr creates protection that no physical shield can provide. It wraps your day in divine care, guarding your heart from anxiety, your mind from distraction, and your path from misfortune. Every tasbih, every istighfar, every word of gratitude forms a barrier against darkness. When you say Subhanallah at dawn, you are not merely praising, you are polishing the mirror of your heart. When you say Alhamdulillah, you are watering the garden of contentment within you. When you say Allahu Akbar, you are realigning your soul, reminding it that no problem is greater than the one who controls all things. There is also a kind of spiritual chemistry that happens with morning Dhikr. It transforms your energy. It changes how you see the world. A person who begins their morning with remembrance walks through life with light in their face and peace in their steps. The heart that remembers is protected from bitterness, envy, and fear. The tongue that remembers is saved from harm and falsehood. The mind that remembers becomes clearer, calmer, and more focused. It is as if Allah places a hand of ease over your day, guiding you through moments that could have been difficult, granting success where effort alone could never suffice. Miracles don't always appear as dramatic events. Sometimes they show up as the quiet ease that fills your day after remembrance. The meeting that goes better than expected, the problem that suddenly finds a solution, the unexpected act of kindness that reaches you just when you needed it. All are signs of a day touched by Dhikr. The one who begins with Allah carries His name into every action. And because of that, their day becomes blessed in ways they may never fully see. The Prophet would remain seated after Fajr in remembrance until the sun rose, showing the Ummah the value of beginning the day with spiritual grounding. Those moments are not wasted, they are invested. Every second spent remembering Allah in the morning multiplies into blessings throughout the day, in work, in relationships, in health, in inner calm. Morning Dhikr sets the tone of gratitude and surrender, and when gratitude leads, miracles follow. When the tongue moves with remembrance, the heart softens, the soul aligns, and the unseen world begins to respond. The morning becomes not just the start of a new day, but the opening of new possibilities. The believer who remembers Allah at dawn walks under the protection of His light, and wherever that light reaches, miracles unfold. The early hours carry a power that quietly determines how the rest of your day will unfold. The time after Fajr is not just the beginning of daylight. It is the beginning of your direction. What you do in those sacred moments sets the tone, the mood, and the spiritual energy that will guide you. When you start your morning with focus, remembrance, and gratitude, you create an inner state that draws ease into everything that follows. But when the morning begins with haste or heedlessness, the day tends to mirror that same chaos. The early hours shape not only your schedule, but your soul's rhythm, influencing how you respond to life, how you think, and how you feel. When you rise early, especially after Fajr, you enter a time blessed by divine favor. It is a window of opportunity filled with spiritual clarity. The world is quiet, the air feels pure, and the heart is most receptive. It is as if Allah designed those hours as a space for alignment, a moment when the soul can tune itself before the noise of life begins. The Prophet prayed for barakah in the mornings, teaching us that success does not come from endless hours of striving, but from beginning with the right intention and the right presence. When you give your first moments to Allah, He blesses what follows. In those early hours, your heart is like soft clay, easily shaped by what you feed it. If you fill it with remembrance, it becomes strong and steady. If you fill it with distraction, it becomes scattered and heavy. This is why people who nurture their mornings with prayer, dhikr, and reflection often experience a sense of calm that lasts all day. They are not simply managing time, they are managing energy. Their hearts have been anchored before the world begins to pull at them. They carry a light within that makes even the busiest moments feel balanced. The early hours also carry a unique form of inspiration. It is the time when ideas flow more freely, when creativity feels natural, and when the mind is clearest. The absence of noise allows thoughts to form without interference. Many of the most sincere du'as, the most transformative reflections, are born in those moments of quiet solitude. It is not only a time to worship, but also to plan, to learn, to set your intentions for the day. When you begin with purpose, you move through your day consciously instead of reactively. The way you treat the morning reveals what you truly value. If you honor it, you honor yourself. You acknowledge that your soul deserves to start the day in peace, not in rush. You acknowledge that your success comes not from running faster, but from being guided rightly. Those who sleep through the early light often find themselves chasing the day, trying to catch up, while those who rise with it find themselves ahead, not because they do more, but because their efforts carry barakah. They are in flow with the divine rhythm, where time feels stretched and productivity feels natural. Every sunrise is a reminder that Allah is giving you another chance to begin anew. The early hours invite you to set the foundation for what is to come, to forgive, to focus, to renew your connection with Him. What begins with remembrance tends to end with gratitude. What begins with heedlessness often ends with regret. The early hours whisper a truth that the world often forgets. Success is not built during the day, it is built before the day begins. It is written in those unseen moments when you choose discipline over comfort, purpose over distraction, and remembrance over sleep. When you start right, everything else falls into place, and your entire day becomes a reflection of that sacred beginning. The morning belongs to those who understand its secret, who realize that the way they rise determines the way they live. To own your morning is to take ownership of your inner world before the outer world claims it. It is to begin your day not as a reaction to circumstances, but as an act of intention. The one who wakes after Fajr and fills those early hours with remembrance, reflection, and purpose takes control of their life at its most powerful point, the beginning. When you discipline yourself to rise for Allah, you are not just managing time, you are mastering the self, the nafs that always pulls toward comfort. Conquering that pull gives you a strength that extends far beyond the morning. It shapes your entire destiny. Every sunrise brings with it a choice. You can let the day happen to you, or you can step into it with awareness and direction. Those who sleep through the early light often feel like life slips away unnoticed, one day blending into another without meaning. But those who wake with purpose begin to live intentionally. They approach life as a gift, not a burden. They walk through their hours with clarity, with gratitude, with presence. When you rise early, you meet the day before it overwhelms you. You decide its rhythm instead of being carried by it. That decision is power, and that power is freedom. Owning the morning means owning the state of your heart. It means choosing to feed your soul before the world demands your attention. It is the quiet acknowledgement that before emails, messages, and responsibilities, there is something greater. Your connection with the one who gave you life. The morning is the purest time for that connection. The mind is clear, the heart is soft, and distractions are few. When you use that time to remember Allah, your heart becomes anchored. And when the heart is anchored, no storm of the day can shake it. The one who owns their morning walks with a different light. Their face carries peace, their tone carries patience, and their actions carry purpose. It is not because life is easier for them. It is because they begin the day aligned with something higher. The discipline of waking up early builds more than a routine. It builds resilience. It trains the heart to put obedience before desire, to choose meaning over comfort. Every morning becomes a small victory, and these victories accumulate until they transform your life. Owning the morning is also an act of gratitude. It is a way of saying, I value the gift of another day. To rise early is to recognize that life is fleeting and that every sunrise could be your last. When that awareness fills your heart, procrastination fades. You stop delaying your peace, your goals, your prayers, your change. You begin to live with urgency, not the kind that rushes, but the kind that understands the sacredness of time. The early hours teach you that your life is not waiting to begin, it is happening now. The morning gives you space to listen to the voice of your soul, to the whispers of guidance, to the peace that comes from silence. It's in that space that direction becomes clear and intentions are purified. You realize that success is not just about achieving more. It is about living from a place of awareness and surrender. When you own your morning, you begin your day with Allah, and when you begin with Him, everything that follows falls into place. You move through life with calm, not chaos, with focus, not confusion. The one who masters the morning learns that barakah is not found in doing more, but in doing with presence. That real control comes not from managing time, but from mastering the self. To own the morning is to own the rhythm of your life, to align your soul with purpose before the world wakes, to step into every day carrying light that no darkness can dim,